Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Jade Mechanic Podcast. It's a sunny Sunday evening, and we're just sitting down to. I fished all day. We're just having a little conversation with somebody I don't know too well, but I'm hoping to get to know. Chris Delprete. Chris, how are you, buddy?
I'm awesome, Jeff. Man, how are you?
Very good, very good. I'm a little sore from fishing. I do a lot of casting, and as a mechanic, your shoulders, right? You get miles on them, and so it's a lot. But we had a good day today. So
good.
Yeah. I put my brother on his biggest bass that he's ever caught in his life, so that was pretty cool. I caught nothing but tiny fish, and so when I take my brother out, I play mostly just fish and guide. Like my boat, all the baits, all the rods are all mine, and I literally tied the bait on this morning before we went out. I pulled up to the spot. I said, "Take this rod, cast there. You'll probably catch one," and he caught a 4.5, so it's a good fish. So good day for him. He was happy. So that makes it more fun, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you want to see others succeed. That's that mentality. You want to push others up, and you want to see them succeed because that's where you should show.
Yeah, he's waiting for a hip replacement, so he's very incapacitated physically. Like he can't. It's a lot for him to get in and out of the boat and even move around the boat.
Yeah.
So that makes it a lot more fun when he actually gets a decent fish. Like he doesn't go out and get skunked, but to get his biggest that he's ever got today made it
awesome.
A lot worthwhile. He's in a lot of pain, so the hip is a very serious thing. So
yeah, no, for sure. That's your core.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you spend your weekend? You said
this weekend. Let's see. I didn't work finally. I actually took it easy and getting caught up on just washing a few vehicles. Got to wash the wife's vehicle, my vehicle, teaching my son how to use the power washer. What's not pushing him over because he's only 11 years old and he's a stick figure like Dad. So, but just simple things this weekend. It was actually really nice. I didn't do much, which is a shock.
Yeah, and you're down in Georgia.
I am. I'm in North Georgia. I moved here 4 years ago, originally from Massachusetts.
Oh, that's a different
game. Yeah, I try not to play into the accent too much.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear me drop a few R's here and there, it's like it does come out.
Yeah,
it does, but I try to hide it a little bit.
Yeah. Do they give conversations when that comes out once in a while down there?
I'm sorry?
Do they give you a funny look when you drop it down there?
Yeah, well, interesting. My boss, I can always tell it's a female. I have a female boss, by the way, and she's phenomenal. My first conversation with her, it went about 3 minutes. Within the first minute, she was holding her mouth, trying not to laugh at me. And I was just like, okay. And I just kind of shook my head at her. It's okay, let it out. I'm like, I know, I'm a Northerner. I'm not just a Yankee. I'm a damn Yankee. I moved from the north to the south. So, yeah.
So tell us about where you work.
I work for Ace Truck Body and Trailer Repair in Norcross, Georgia. Okay. It is owned by the great Jamie Cole. She's owned it for just over 10 years. I think about 10 years now. And she's amazing. She's no slouch to the business. She actually knows the business well. She was an old dirt track girl from back in the day, and her dad treated her like a son. So she was out there hunting, fishing, and driving, So she had a tow business before coming to and buying out Ace and having the business, which the business has been there since 1981.
Very cool.
And she took over, I think, somewhere in 2014 or 2015.
Now, is that like a heavy truck repair kind of shop?
It is a heavy. It's the heavy industry. It is. We have a trailer shop, 4 bays of trailers. Well, actually, it's more like 8, 4 on one side, 4 on the other. We have a full body shop. You can drive a full tractor trailer into our prep bay. You can drive a full tractor trailer into our spray booth. And we have an engine shop where I am, and we have a parts department. So it's for an independent shop. It's quite a big one.
Very cool. So that's and so you're doing engine rebuilds on all that kind of Series 60 and Cats and Cummins and that kind of stuff.
We do. I have rebuilt the Max Force. We don't see much in the way of engine rebuilds. No, back in its heyday, that's all that was there. I mean, Series 60, 550 Cat, I mean, the old NZ, early ISX and Bucks Cummins, they were constantly doing it. Now it just seems to be strictly electrical diag and regen issues that come in the door, and it's all across. We take everything in. So it's from Hino, Isuzu, and just the power plants are pretty much the same. You're going to get a Cummins, an ISX, or mostly ISB, from a Freightliner to a Ford to a Western Star. I mean, same engine, different truck.
Yeah.
DD13, DD15 from a Mack and a Volvo, or some Freightliner. So it's
very cool.
Yeah.
I kind of stuck my toe in that little side of the business for a little while, and there's pluses to it. I liked it. The shop I worked at was more predominantly like suspension and springs. So I did a lot of that, and that sucks from a physical standpoint. It's a lot.
It's heavy on the body, because before this, I was with my family's rubbish business.
Okay.
And we had 40 pieces of moving equipment, from tractor trailers, which is just the division I ran, to roll-off, which my brother ran, and my younger sister, she was in residential pickup, curbside pickup.
Right.
And so we had 4 towns of residential rubbish. We had roll-off contracts. We had long-haul tractor-trailer contracts for multiple transfer stations, and that was the division I ran with 6 trucks in its heyday, and then it just kind of came down and fizzled down to 2. And the business folded in 2015.
Okay.
And it wasn't really my dad's fault. It just it's kind of a long story, but we had all kinds of trucks. So I was working on everything then from 2001 until I left in 2021 for Georgia.
Wow.
So I went part-time with my dad after his business folded in I went part-time with him in 2013. I saw the writing on the wall for the business. So I was working for the town of Hingham as their mechanic, fabricator, welder, driver, which was Thursday through Sunday. And then I worked for my dad Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I did the 7-day-a-week shuffle from 2013 up until the point I left in 2021.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It was a lot. And I still look back and I'm still trying to figure out how I did it, because I turned 50 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was, I was busting my ass on that stuff, So
was your dad a tech?
Yeah. I can't really call him a tech. He never had an outside job besides working for his family. Because if I take it way back,
go.
My family moved from Italy in 1926. So my great-grandfather had got a piece of property. He ended up opening a general contracting place with business. It was a farm, basically. And he had 2 companies there, which his 2 sons ran, which was called D&F Maintenance. And they also had a second business in there called Twin Elm Farm. So Twin Elm Farm did rubbish or garbage back in its day in the 50s. And they also they were the general contractor for street repair, for building houses. They did everything. So, and that's where my dad started at an early age of 10 years old. So, and then he went right from that to owning a trucking company. So he's never worked for anyone.
Right.
So, and then after his business folded, he had made so many friends. He actually had to get a job at 72 years old. And now he drives a brand new Volvo in a dump trailer, and he calls me every once in a while and says, "Hey, I got a code." And I'm like, "I showed you how to check it by the dashboard. Give me the numbers."
Yeah.
I got to pull over, which is funny. But yeah, Dad got his crash course into fixing trucks way back. He lived and breathed by 6011 rod when he was welding.
Yeah.
Like garbage rod, but it wasn't worth much. But he stuck a lot of crap together as a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
He got the job done.
Also,
of course,
just learn as you go, right? Yeah,
that's it. And my older brother, and I, we picked up on it, and we were suckers for cars, because my dad would tell us stories about the cars he had, from his '68 Camaro to a '70 Chevelle, and then the family vehicle when we were kids was this 1972 Blazer.
Nice.
So it was. I was born and raised into trucks.
That's blood, eh? Like it's the same thing. Like I grew up, my stepdad's a farmer and always he drove, when he was a teenager, it was like a 65 Chevy car, 2-door, like it would have been a Bel Air. It wasn't Impala, but that kind of trim line with 327, and they pulled a camshaft out of a 300 horse Corvette and stuffed it in that car. And then a 2-speed power glide, and like it was a quick car. And they lived everywhere. It was dirt roads, and like the stories you tell me of going around a dirt road corner at 78 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour in that car, big boat of a thing, right?
Yeah,
like, it gets into your blood. You get addicted to that, right? Like it doesn't, and it doesn't matter where. Like I always chuckle. I meet so many of the people from North Carolina down south, and it's all about NASCAR and dirt track and everything like that. But that kind of obsession that we get with old V8 engines and power and the smell and the sounds and everything, it's all over the world, dude. Like it's incredible. Oh yeah, it's what ties us all in, and I think that's how this industry gets us hooked, because we we have a knack for it. We think it's going to be really cool, and then you get in, you're working on a garbage truck, or you're working on something completely unrelated, but it's a good skill set to have, right? Yeah.
It is. It teaches you, especially in the rubbish business. Anyone who does rubbish, and they'll agree with me, you have no choice sometimes, and you have to use what's around you to get home. So if you're in a landfill and they dragging you through a landfill to get dumped out, and you blow an airline, you got to get out of there. If you know anything and you got a set of tools with you, you're going to look around the landfill, and you're going to find a way to either shove a stick in an air tank and block off some of the air so you can make it home, or you're going to zip tie off an airline and cage a brake, and you're going to make it to wherever you need to go.
Yeah, I can remember when I first started in the industry, like back in '99, what some of the truck drivers knew how to do to the truck in order to get home from. I mean, like every one of them I knew back then, they wired their own CBs in, like they wired their own lights, like they did all that. Now some of the connections weren't great, but I mean, they knew how to find the blown fuse in the truck. Like they didn't, if it came in really broken, it wasn't a blown fuse. Like it was something way worse.
Yeah, it was something they couldn't fix with the tools they had in the bunk or under the seat or behind the cab or whatever.
All had a toolbox, vice grips, channel locks, all that stuff. All of them could cage brakes. All of them could cage brakes, adjust the brakes, check the brakes. Like they're a different type of driver then than they are now, for sure. They're steering wheel holders now, right? And they are.
That's it. The day of the trucker has been dead for a long time. And I got about, I don't know, somewhere in the 3 million range on me, before I retired. I call it retired from driving, but back to spinning wrenches. Yeah. It was. I kept a cage bolt beside my seat. Mm-hmm. It's one of them. Go prepared. You get a 3/4 inch wrench right beside it, just in case something was going to happen, because it was going to happen. That's no two ways about it. Yeah. That's trucking. And I have an expression I used to tell my dad all the time. I said, "There's a problem with getting comfortable in trucking. You get comfy in trucking. You get comfy in trucking. Trucking comes for a fucking."
Yeah.
So don't do it. Don't get comfortable.
Yeah. It's such a weird industry, eh?
Yeah.
So what's your day to day? You said you talked about if your dad calls you up with a code, are you kind of steer more towards diag in the shop, or you can do it all?
Yeah, I'm everything from A to B, from start to finish. I'm their A tech. I'm their lead tech. I don't know if the floor guy. Everything. So yeah, and we have 3 scanning platforms at our work. I have IDSS for Isuzu. I have JPro. I have Texa, and I kind of float between all 3. I have 2 apprentices I have under me right now. One's 17, one's 20. I have this a young girl, Grace. She's 20. She's amazing. She came to us last year, and I tell you, I asked her for 2 things. She showed up on her first day. I said, just show up, give me a good attitude. Those are the only 2 things I want out of you. That's it. If you give me that, I'm going to give you everything I know.
Yeah.
And she doesn't just change oil.
This is the F1 Garage. My name is Jonathan Craig. Let me start that over. My name is Jonathan Craig. I'm the owner of the F1 Garage in Houston, Texas. Best thing about my day is walking into a shop just like this and looking at these cars. I was introduced to Techmetric probably about a year and a half ago. Being a one-man shop, everything works very smooth, whether I'm technician, service advisor, tracking the numbers, stuff like that. Techmetric just makes everything efficient, professional. My ultimate favorite car would be the McLaren P1 GTR. I've got it permanently on my arm here. That's what I'm working towards. The customer experience with the software has been great. They love the digital inspections I'm able to provide, the online approvals, the ability to go ahead and pay before they get here. I'm much more in the future than a lot of these other shops. All around good program. I love it.
You know, I give her a lot of regen issues, and I had her on. I was doing the diag, and I was having her take them apart, and it was kind of like a Karate Kid moment where she's finally like, "I'm sick of taking these out." I said, "Okay, come on over here to the scanner for a minute, and let's go run through this."
Yeah.
And I'm showing her. I'm like, "All right, I'm having a problem with the delta pressure sensor. Where is it?" She's like, "Oh, it's right over the DPF." I'm like, "Why?" "Well, it's got to read one side or the other." I'm like, "Huh, really? Let me know when you get sick of changing parts. Like,
Yeah.
I can bring you up here because I put you on them so you to understand where everything is.
Yeah.
So you know from DOC, DPF, decomp tube to the SCR. I need you to know all those parts and pieces. So when you get to ATEC or even close to it, and you're running diag, you know where all your parts are.
Yeah.
You're not going to, and that's on the Cummins side. You get to a one box on a Freightliner, and they're different, but it's still running the same parts. They're just at different locations.
Yeah.
So, and she's come real far. I'm real proud of her. So
I've seen a lot of girls that seem to go, or ladies, young women go into the heavy truck side more so than the car thing, and they're killing it. Like my good friend Megan, we were just talking the other day, she's doing a Series 60 swap on a Prevost bus. Like, and
nice.
she's all like 130 pounds. She's been on the show before. Attractive middle-aged blonde lady, and she's just killing it. Like and when she's not doing that, she's in the middle of like updating software and Allison transmissions and diag and programming Allison's. Like she's just
awesome.
And it's like I've met guys that have been in the business 20 years. They can't do what she does. And she's got this very much like, you may look at me and make an assumption and judge me, and I'm going to prove you wrong kind of attitude. And she doesn't come across with a chip on her shoulder. She's just like, when she knows she's right, she's right. And I resonate with that, right? I'm like, yeah, that's my type of people. So, she'll call me with gas stuff. Like, we got a gas motorhome here and it's not running right. Can you come down and take a look? Sure. Yeah. But I mean, like, she's way, way above where I was when I was tinkering with those trucks, way farther than I ever thought about being. Like, she's awesome.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I think a lot of the reason why I don't have a problem with females in the shop is my younger sister drove truck. Mm-hmm. She's all of 5'1". She's a few years younger than me. She's in her 40s. She still has her Class A. Up in Massachusetts, you need a hydraulics license to run equipment. She has it. She can run anything, and it's with or without wheels. The girl is amazing, So in my dad's business, she wasn't the only female. We had 7 other drivers that were females. I mean, granted, you would get the phone call, "Chris, my truck's making a noise," and I'm like, "Oh, what's it doing?" And they'll go, "Okay, that's not what is the check engine light on?" Yeah. "No, it's making a noise." "All right, go check the tires. Like, does it still run and drive and stop?" "Yes." "Is it making any noises like an air leak or anything?" "No." "Okay, where are you?" And either I would have to go find them, my brother would go find them, or my dad would go find them, depending on where I was around the 7 states that I hauled to, or wherever my brother was or my dad was. So, but we were the 3 mechanics for our fleet.
I think women bring, so much more to the industry that we don't talk about it enough, right? And I mean, I've met some really cool shop owners, female shop owners. Even when you go to the conventions, like you see some female techs, they're sitting in the classroom or whatever, but I mean, they're still so outnumbered. But sometimes, like, they just bring sometimes a different perspective about how to even approach some of the problems. Or I think it's like, because we're predominantly men, we think everything is muscle and get in there and get it apart fast. And they seem to like just do the checks the right way the first way before they start to get in there and tear everything apart. Because I don't know, I can't. How do I say that? I guess we don't think of the physical limitations. Not that they have any, right? But what may be a little bit easier for us would be harder for them because of a little bit of difference in strength level. So I think it's just they approach it sometimes from a much more efficient manner because they look at it like with a little more finesse and pizzazz, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we need more women in the trade for sure. 100%.
Absolutely. I fully agree. And, and there's nothing wrong with having a female tech, like at all. I enjoy having Grace there, and I enjoy having a female boss because she'll come in and she'll bring her own car. Mm-hmm. She's got a really nice Mustang, and she'll come in and she's like, "Is it okay if I borrow a couple tools? Mine are all at home. I just want to change the brakes." And I'm like, "Oh, do you want me to do it?" And she just looks at me and she's like, "Did I ask you to do it?" And I'm like, "No." She goes, "Then I just want to get away from the office for a while. I want to get my hands dirty." And the first time she asked me for it, I was just like, "No, this is crazy. That's what you pay me for. You pay me to do this crap. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And then finally I realized she just wants that break to go get her hands dirty because it's a break from what she's doing. She needs it. Just leave her alone. Yeah. Just open your box and go away. Yeah. If she has a question, she'll ask you, so I'm like, "All right, Mike, yeah, I'll give you whatever you need. Box is open."
Yeah. She just wants to reconnect with her roots, right? That's cool.
It. Yeah. That's it. So I just leave her alone most of the time now. And unless I'm like, "Do you need me here? Are you sure?" "No, you can go. It's fine." And I'm like, "All right." Her fiance is a pretty good mechanic too. So
yeah, right on. So this shop, is it a lot of fleet work, or does she own a fleet as well of stuff, or?
No, it's kind of broken up. We do have fleet customers. We have, I don't want to start naming them off the top of my head, but we do take in a lot of owner operators, and we do have some fleet customers. The fleet customers are nice because it's like, just let me know when it's fixed.
Yeah.
Versus I want everything estimated. Do I really need that?
Yeah.
And okay, you got to kind of not play the game, but just, yes, to make your truck safe. I mean, do you need a DOT as well? Because I'll tell you right now, everything I put on your list is on the DOT, and you're not driving out of here. I can't sign my name on this because I'm liable. So
Yeah, we have that up here with any time a car gets changed ownership in Ontario. Like, I essentially have to inspect the car and deem it safe, go through the whole process. There's minimum specs, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, we can see where we have some, sometimes some people think, "Oh, well, that, and it's a new program. It's only been out for this year, in the way that we now have to do it with a tablet, and you're actually logged in with the government, and everything's being recorded. All your pictures, your screenshots that you take of the car is kept in a file per car, right? Because they can pull it a year, 2 years, 4 years from now and look at it and go, "Well, what was it in this condition? If something should ever happen." And I think people are like, "Well, last year that would have passed." Yeah, last year it would have passed. And this year, when they sat everybody down and kind of said, "Okay, these are the new standards," like, you can't, if you've got a hole in the rocker panel, it's an immediate fail. Rocker panel has to be fixed.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And I mean, people are like, "Well, it's just a rocker panel." It's considered a structural member now, right? Like before, and on not every car is it a structural member. Like my Jeep, it still has a frame under it. So, could you make the argument it's a structural member? No. But it still fails. It fails. And that's, I like that, because it's like, it gets some crap off the road. Now you see some crap still that you're like, "Well, they've been driving that thing for 6 years, like and 6 years ago, it probably should have been, retired." Rust is such a pain in the ass for us up here. It's just like, it takes, 10 or 11 years old when this starts to come in at the resale, and we start to look at it, we're like, "Ooh, shoot." Like, I'm doing when I go in tomorrow morning, I've got a 2012 Jetta sitting there that, amazingly enough, is not that rusted, but it's like, it's already pre-sold before the inspection's even done. It's got a really bad misfire, needs both springs, needs brakes all the way around, tires all the way around. Like, we'll have $5,000 into this thing before we even get it out the door. Like, it's crazy,
Someone drove it all the way to the limit and then traded it in and got rid of it.
Yeah. And I laugh because it's like the salesman. I'm new to this job. I've been there just over a month, and the salesman was starting to get to know what I'm like and what I'm about, and what I kind of cars I like. And I'm like, you guys don't understand, man. European customers are a different lot. Like they're like, oh well, she bought the car brand new and it's only got 170,000 kilometers on it. Yeah, and they spent no money on that car in that length of time. Like it's just. It's got all the original brakes on it. They're rotted right off. Like it just, misfire. Somebody put really cheap ignition wires on it. I went and looked at it real quick. One of the two wires at the coil was swapped, so they're not even hooked up right. And the oil change sticker that you see in the window is a relatively known cheap shop locally to us. It's just like that to me is a typical Euro car driver up here.
Yeah.
Like, and I just like, I don't want any part of it, but they sell good. They sell good. Like you get people still calling every week. It's like, you got a Volkswagen? It's like, you hitting the head. Like, why do you want to use Volkswagen? Like,
is this some TikTok trend I don't know about that everyone has to have a Volkswagen now?
It's spooky, man. It's really is. I like it because it's like a lot of exposure to a lot of different brands. That's probably the only thing that's kept me in this industry is learning new things all the time. Because if I got bored on a brand, I was just like, let's go fishing. Like, I don't want to fix this. But you start to see like that joke in the Netflix show Tires where they're talking about, I can tell what kind of car that person's going to drive by who they are, nationality. It's a true thing, man. It really is. Like it is, it's pretty cool. So I don't mind the Volkswagen stuff. I like it better than a BMW or Mercedes.
Yeah.
Not big.
I fully agree.
Yeah. How do you like the Hinos?
I don't mind them too much. They're honestly the J08. It's a pretty straightforward truck. They do really well. It's Toyota based, so we see them for oil changes every once in a while. It's you might maybe like I actually have one right now. I have to do injectors on, but it's got 280,000 on it, and it's time. Time for it. This one just happens to have a problem in number 6, but my manager, who actually is in charge of our shop, is just like, I won't put one in it. It's gonna get all 6 because I'll put one in and then 3 will go out. I'll put 3 in and then 5 will go out. This truck will forever be here. I want 6 injectors, and that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so we're waiting for him to come in, and I'll probably do that this week at some point and put 6 injectors in this thing. Yeah, but I actually really enjoy working on Isuzus. That's one of my favorites. I showed up to Ace a year later. They sent me to a Isuzu school in Pennsylvania, and I went the year after that again for another week. And it was just, the training is so good, and they want to give you so much. I have dealer level software, so if you buy in and you get IDSS, that's exactly what the dealership has. So I can program anything factory. I can do anything that the dealership does, I can do it, and they're actually they're kind of fun to work on. I'm not going to lie. I like them. I've done cab swaps on them, frame swaps on them. It's man. And I was actually told someone, if I had my way, I would probably grab like a 2500 series Chevy, and I'd put that 4HK in the truck and drive it.
Yeah.
People think I'm crazy, but I love that engine. It just runs so well. For me, they do.
Yeah. How much time do you give yourself for like a cab swap kind of job? Like, is that a 3-4 day, like a 2 week kind of thing, or?
Honestly, those cabs come right off.
Oh, yeah?
Like if you're doing I don't see a loaded cab. It's the interior stuff that takes the most time. Physically getting the cab off the truck.
Yeah.
You have it off in a few hours. There's really not too much to them, besides draining the AC and brake lines. Everything unplugs from the front of it. You got 2 bolts on a tensioner, and you can basically lift that cab right off and undo the steering box.
Yeah.
But it comes right off.
Really?
And everything's exposed. I have some pictures of a frame swap I did on an NPR. And did you see my United Rentals I did? The frame swap I did? It's recent. It's on TikTok.
Right.
And I just started doing it, and I'm like, I should do more of these.
Mm-hmm.
And my boss is for it. She's like, do it. Go ahead. Put it up. I don't care.
Yeah.
She's all for it. I'm like, okay.
It's kind of neat. Like that's the kind of jobs, those levels, that you feel really satisfied, like you did something at the end of it, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, we get that little kick off of everything that we do, with the exception of maybe like a set of tires or oil change or something like that, right? Like that's so rudimentary that, yeah. But when you see something like that and you're like a bigger job and you're like, whew, it's done, you feel really accomplished. Like I think that's the dopamine that keeps some of us addicted to doing this, right? Even though the job is so hard, and it's not that the job is so hard. It's just like we talk about, right? We're aches and pains, and 50-year-old mechanics are, we walk different. We make funny noises when we try to stand up, like it's just the way it is.
I thank God my ride to work is 40 minutes, because that's how long it takes for the ibuprofen to kick in, so I can walk from the car to the building and then stretch around, stretch out a little bit, open the doors, and all right, what are we doing in the heat today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your shop air conditioned?
No.
Oh, see? Yeah. Mine's not either. And everybody jokes, like they think up here that it's Canada, it's cold, but we had 101 several days in the shop,
That's
it's tough, I
yeah,
drank 6 bottles of water.
a minimum, and I gotta say, the boss puts boxes of freeze pops in the freezer for us, so we abuse the hell out of them things. Just like make sure you're having them. I'm putting them in there. I want to see this box gone by the end of the day. So she don't care.
Yeah, that's a good boss.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't speak any more highly about her. She's really good to her employees. She's good to just all of us,
Mm-hmm.
and she holds us accountable, which is important. She doesn't screw around with it. She's like, there are certain things that need to be done, and she goes and solves problems, and she knows what every part on a truck is. So it's you can't baffle her with bullshit. Let's put it that way. She knows her ass from her elbow.
That's good.
She knows what a good weld looks like. She knows her parts under the hood, and she's no slouch. So
yeah, that's important, because that's the thing. Sometimes, like from my side of the scenario, sometimes like you're dealing with people that don't know. Like I've worked with lots of service advisors that were really good soft skills, right? Good with people, good sales, but they had no clue, like, about how the fluids in an engine worked, or what they did, or remember one telling a customer that it was like the coolant moved in the engine, didn't move all that fast. And we're like, well, explain that. What do you mean by like doesn't move that fast? Like, how did you even come to that that conversation with the customer? Like it's
where are you looking? Like where did you see it not move?
But she's getting, and that's what happens sometimes, is they get asked a question, and I think it's like panic mode sets in. And it's like, what do I do, right? And it's like, oh shoot, like I guess I should look competent. And I have always said, like, if you don't know, go get somebody and ask, because everybody now with a phone is going to, hey, Siri, explain this to me, and AI is going to put back, a very accurate, pretty good answer, and then you're going to look like a fool right in front of the person. So just if you don't know, say you don't know,
And that's, I've said that so many times to people that have come to me, and I get guys from our trailer shop, guys from our body shop. They come over to me and they ask me questions, and if I don't know, I have to say I don't know, because they're gonna take my words to heart, and if I'm wrong, they're not going to come to me again, and that job might not get fixed right. And that's not something I can live with, because it has to be right when it leaves our shop. If it's not right, I take it personal. You've got to have that truck. It's someone's life, it's someone's livelihood, and it's may not be their bread and butter. They own the truck, but they're certainly driving it. And you've got to know that the vehicle you're putting out is going to be on the road with other families and other people, and you got to make sure that truck is safe. And that's you got to do that. And also, coming from the owner operator standpoint on my dad's side, we had trucks that broke down, and my dad would be like, "All right, it's got to go out tomorrow. You staying?" yeah, I'm staying. I got to get up at 1 a.m. to go back to work, but I'm here at 10 o'clock fixing a rubbish truck for my dad.
Yeah, because I mean, otherwise, like, how long does the day become when you're down a piece of equipment, right? The next day, if it's down, somebody is working overtime to get it done, right? You're putting more hours and more miles on another piece of equipment to pick up the slack, and it's still broke. Like, it's still broke. You might as well. And that's, it was hard for me when I bounced back and forth between, the heavy truck side and the automotive side, is because the automotive side, like, it's like these people, and it's like, well, I'm going to drop that car off. I've got another car at home, right? Like, just whenever it's on.
Beautiful.
We had a couple fleets that they had some spare units. The paramedic fleet that I worked on, they had spare units. But like the rest of the time, I'm just like, people are coming in sometimes and complaining about the strangest things to me, that would be like, you would want to be without your vehicle because of this. It's odd to me, like, I mean, I would not want to be without my vehicle because, like, when I put all 4 kids in the car, one kid's cell phone won't link up to the Wi-Fi. Like, that to me is like not even worth a visit in, right? Because if you and I that worked in these vehicles that make money, you don't down it for that. You don't down it because the radio doesn't work, right? Like, the wipers, the horn, all the safety stuff work. Yep, roll on. Like,
see you later.
Like, get going.
Start singing to yourself.
But the people, pull a car in for, I'm still trying to, 30 years in the industry later, I'm still trying to grasp why some of it, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. My own vehicle, it could, if it's, working, I don't want to be without it, like, if it starts to make a little bit of brake noise and it's Thursday and I plan to fish on Saturday, it's not getting looked at till next week.
What's a little bit of brake noise between friends?
Fish, like, it's just, but I can appreciate that the fleet side was always like, okay, well, we'll schedule that in to get it done, but I need it back tomorrow morning. Yes, sir. Right away. It was good. So when it was catastrophic, yeah, they were like, shit. But
yeah,
that's what I've done. Are you having a hard time finding young people?
Techs in general. There was nothing coming through the door, and in our shop, it's still small. We have for 3 long bays that can fit trucks back to back, and I have a 3/4 bay, I call it. It's basically one big truck.
Yeah,
you could probably nose something in if you had to run diag on it just to get yourself out of the sun, or if it's going to rain or whatever. It's just me. I have a senior tech. He's in his 60s. Great B tech. I can't feed that guy enough, like, lift gates, suspension work, heavy stuff, engine swaps. And we do have a fair share of just. We had a run of ISB engine swaps for Penske.
Yeah.
We had 10 engines we needed to swap for him, and we were getting them down getting some good hours on him. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. But he's a phenomenal B. But I can't put him near a computer.
Yeah,
he'll even tell you, he's like, don't put that thing in my hands. Don't do it. Okay. But it's just me, Terry, who's my senior tech, and I have Grace and Peyton, who are phenomenal. And they're, again, both of those guys are killing it. I'm so proud of both of them, and I'm pouring into them as much as I can. I just don't want this knowledge to go away.
That's something, when you think about it, like, and I can say that I enjoy working with younger people, because there's always, it seems like, every day at least one opportunity to show them, kind of a core moment, a core principle. You get one of them a day. In my shop now, I have one tech that works with me. He's 59 and I'm 50. So he's 59. There's not much I'm going to show him. You know what I mean? He's already seen it too. Or unless it's like diag on a car brand, because he hasn't worked on as many different things as I have. A lot of people haven't. So there's some things I'll show him that I'm familiar with that he's not. But it's not like I have to teach him any kind of fundamentals or processes or anything like that. He's got it all down. He's got his own, which is, I miss that with the young people, because there's like so many things, whether it's like, here's how you check that ground, or, I can remember the old trick when somebody an alternator sitting there running and they touch the back of it with a screwdriver and a magnetic force and they're like, okay, the alternator's doing something.
Working. Yeah.
Somebody teaching me that 20 some years ago and going, hey, that's pretty cool. Now I don't get to teach that stuff to people, right? I miss that. So
I like taking a few minutes, like as many regen systems I put Grace on. I'll be checking a truck, and if I see it's something up her alley, I'll bring her over and be like, hey, I want you to take a peek in this and tell me what you think. I'll get a code, a 117 code. I'm like, so what are your thoughts on this? And she's like, you've showed me this before. And she'll sit there and something with the def injector. And I'm like, yeah, keep going. She's like, I'm like, come on, you're almost there. And she's like, it's covered over. I'm like, yeah, it's covered over. There you go. So she'll pull it, scrape it down, sell a filter, and possibly send it back on its way. So down the road, hopefully the injector itself, well, you gotta check it for pressure and all that, do all the tests and check your 3 circles it's supposed to shoot out at you. But I mean, for the most part, send it on its way. So it's going to be pretty good.
Problematic system, eh? Like I can remember, who was I talking to? I guess it would be about a year ago, and there was something, and they could not get def quality sensors for half of the trucks that were coming in. Like there was
the Cummins.
Yeah,
it was the Cummins, and they programmed them out, and they just recently got busted by the EPA. Yeah. And I had a truck that had to get programmed. Yeah. And I remember the truck getting programmed, and we told the lady, "Don't come back and have it reprogrammed. Just drive it. Just keep driving it." She's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yes. Just ignore it, and you just keep driving this thing, and don't come back. Don't take it the wrong way." And she still she comes in for oil changes. It's just like, but she still runs that truck to this day, and it's still running good.
Isn't that funny though, eh? And frustrating at the same time from a technician standpoint, because it's how many times have we had to go down that road of diagnosing that system, and then all of a sudden, because a part is obsolete or unavailable, we just release a different set of software and completely take the problem away.
It's like the magic problem with the regen system. It's just like, well, if you just put more research, done a little more. I mean, I look at that whole system itself, and I'm like, all right, you got a bunch of temp sensors. You're either going to heat it up and it's going to throw you at a higher ohm rating, or you're going to heat it up and it's going to drop down. I'm like, they only work one of two ways. I mean, it's nothing that hasn't been put into a vehicle already. The part number is only the length of wire and the plug it plugs into. It's the same sensor. There's no difference to it.
It's frustrating.
These things. Yeah.
It's frustrating. It really is. Because I mean, even like you and I know that like those trucks, when they're detuned and whatever, compromised with those systems, they're reliable as hell. Right. Yeah. But like they just come in all the time with those kind of systems. And I'm not saying, trucks should be eliminated. I'm not trying to say that.
Oh, no. I know what you're saying about it.
But it is frustrating that the customers, like 1 minute it's working and the next minute a sensor goes down and they're derated and, all these warning lights come on. Like it's just, and for us to try to explain it to them has always been very hard, And
it's almost like anyone who buys a diesel needs to sit through class and understand, listen, you don't put water in your DEF system.
That's right.
Don't do that. All right. You don't want it's I know it's 90% water and you think you're doing yourself a favor, and it's 10% urea. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like you need to understand, if it's in a regen and you're somewhere and you want to shut your truck off, just spend an extra few minutes and let it run. Just let it finish. You see the heat lamp on the dashboard, let it finish until the light goes out. Mm-hmm. Give it an extra couple minutes, then shut the truck off, because that chrysalis is now 600-700 degrees, on its way down. And you crash cool this thing without cooling it slowly, you're going to end up with bigger problems down the road. Yeah. It's like, oh, I just shut it off. Like, no, don't shut it off. I mean, that's the biggest thing. When I worked for the town of Hingham, they had a Volvo loader, and it never ran right. I finally went over there. I'm looking at it. Volvo kept showing up. And they're like, well, there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm looking at the guys, and I'm like, see that little heat lamp? Is that on? Yeah. Stay in it. Just stay in it until the light goes out, and then shut the key off. Oh, okay. they started doing that. They haven't called Volvo since. I haven't been there since 21. I'm like, it's a simple system. It actually works when you don't screw it up as a human. Like, just.
Well, it's so hard to train operators to understand that kind of stuff, right? Because a lot of them don't care, and B, right, like,
I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, I'm in a hurry.
It just has to work.
Yeah. I'm not, if it's halfway through a regen and they're supposed to be clocking out at 6, they're not sitting there to 6:15 to wait for it to finish. They're shutting the truck off or walking away and leaving it or whatever they do. And then, the anti-idle stuff that I saw put into trucks, like I saw what guys would try to do to get around that. And I'm just like, oh my God, man. Like, I understand in the wintertime up here, it sucks. So the trucks, and I get it. But, I've seen so much fuel wasted for trucks that just sit there and run and run and run and run. And you're like, I don't even care about the fuel being burned. It's not good for the truck. Like, it's really not good.
What really sucks is that thing will sit there and idle, and you go to take off, and it starts a regen process, and you're like, no, not now.
Yeah.
You had to do that now? I actually, when I drove a Mack when I first started with my dad. I put 1.7 million on that truck, and I got out of it, and I got into a 2011 W900 Kenworth with a 550, 18-speed, 8-bag air ride. I mean, 240 wheelbase, just a pretty day cab.
Yeah.
And I was hauling the hell out of some fuel, some rubbish. And there was a few times on my way home, I would be about 20 minutes from where we parked the trucks, and the regen would start, and I could hear it. I'm like, oh, because out of nowhere, my truck would boost to 45 PSI. And I'm like, man, this thing's making some juice. What are we doing tonight? And I'm like, woohoo, So I just called my dad and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be late. Why? I thought you were coming home. The truck just went into a regen. He's like, you got to be shitting me. I'm just going to make a couple loops. I got to give it 40 minutes and I'll be in.
Yeah.
And by the time I get back, the heat lamp will be on. It should shut off by the time I park it, and tomorrow will be fine. All right, you really have to do that? Yeah, I really have to do that. I just want it to finish its process because it's working.
Yeah.
And I want it to keep working. So you just let it keep working. That's like it. That was key, and I kept that truck out of the dealership. It's just.
What was your experience like with that when you had to take a unit in when it was under warranty or go to the dealer?
Well, because we didn't have a scanner at my dad's place. So if it was electronic, we had a few trucks. I had a T800 with a Cummins in it, and I had my W9 with a Cat in it. So if there was something coming on, usually the regen system, the engine ran fine, nothing wrong with the engine ever. And I'd go over there, and they all knew me. I'd drop off, hand them the keys, and be like, is it done yet? And they're like, I know. I'm like, I have another truck to drive, but just, it was, I couldn't wait to get it back. It was one of them things, but I was really thankful. There was a bunch of great mechanics where I brought that truck. And again, they knew me because we were a well-known company around that area. So the guys that worked there knew me well. And I had actually back in, I don't want to date myself too much, but 2007, I started a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I was actually getting kind of popular. There's another trucker out there, Mike Gaffin, the Boston trucker. He tours around the United States going to truck shows. Rotella sends him around the United States to go to truck shows, and people love him. His channel took off, and I had to stop mine. I was having kids, and I slowed it down, but everyone knew me from YouTube. So when I came to the dealership, they're like, I know you. Hey, I know you. I know that truck. I see it on YouTube. So it was kind of cool, like YouTube famous.
I joked like 10 years ago that when I retired, I was going to drive a truck, and now.
No, don't do it.
I have no interest. No. Yeah.
No. Yeah. That smart dumb phone has made people so they're idiots on the road.
Yeah.
Race.
I have a friend that he runs from, like, I'm in Kingston. He runs Kingston to Toronto and back all day, every day. Just a day run. I'm not sure what he's hauling, but that stretch of highway between Kingston and Toronto and into Toronto, parts of Toronto, is known to be full of so many stupid people. Like he's got a video posted on his Facebook every day that he films from the cab of somebody, cutting in front of him, pulling the brakes on, or just shit like that. Right. And it's just like, 10 years ago, I thought that'd be a really cool way to see the world and, or at least see the continent. And
Would have
now
been.
I can't sit in traffic in my Jeep without like coming unglued, so
Yeah.
with the truck. No way.
Well, there's no shortage of stupid people. That's for sure. We're not having a shortage there.
My
There's plenty
brother,
of them.
my brother, every time he rides with me, like I'm kind of a lead foot. And so the light turns green and there's somebody in front of me and the light turns green and they don't go. I honk.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm one car behind the person or 4 cars back. I'm the one honking. You're going to know it's me. And I didn't deliberately get up to him, but the next intersection, he goes left and I pull up next to him. And at the intersection, there's the young kid looking at his phone at the red light. And I'm like, I looked over and said, see, that's why he wasn't paying attention when the light went green. Like, it's just a courtesy thing. Like, to me, it's like, you're holding up the people behind you. It's a split second. I get it. But like, if I get down to the next intersection because you were not paying attention, I've got to sit through that light and you get through, I'm going to be pissed to hell. I'm going to be angry because that's another 2 minutes I can't get back today. It sounds so crazy, right, when we say it, but that's what's going on in everybody's mind when they drive, right?
You know what's funny? When I moved from Massachusetts down to Georgia, it was the weirdest thing. Was I'm like, why are the lights in Georgia so long? Like the way it turns red. You can literally look at your phone for 3.5 minutes, and I'm like, 3.5 minutes? That's a really long light. It's usually 40 seconds. Like, small town where I came from. I guess it was all small town stuff, but like, man, I don't ever remember being at a light this long. And I drove a truck for a living. Like, I didn't sit through a light this long ever. You come down to Georgia and you spend a good 4 minutes at a light. So I understand when people gun it, when they see that thing turn yellow, shit, it turns red, they still go through it. As long as there ain't a camera up top, they're gone.
Yeah.
So
that's how they do it in Quebec too. In Montreal, like, is famous for, if you've ever been, but it's famous for the drivers in Montreal, or they call them the worst in Canada, but they're easily the most aggressive for sure. And then like some of the crap that they drive around is what's really scary. Like, I can remember still the last time I was in Montreal following, like, it was a 3 or 4 year old Mercedes, and I'm following it, and the wheel is going like this, waving at me, the back wheel, and I'm like, I got to get around this car as fast as I can. And they're just completely oblivious, driving in 4 lanes of traffic, 65 miles an hour. The wheel's going like this, and I'm behind them going, I got to get around this lady. Like,
absolutely. Yeah, I've been to Canada, but on a snowmobile.
Yeah.
I went up to Jackman, Maine. It's right there at 201, and right at the Canadian border. And I went up there with my old bosses. I started in gas first, so I know we're kind of taking it back. I graduated high school in '93, 4 years of vocational school. I went right into the trades. I was at a Goodyear certified place called Sullivan Tire. I was there about a year. I ended up moving to another place called Autotech in Whitman, Mass. The Shadley brothers, they actually build really awesome motorcycles. And their best friend is Dave Perowitz, who's a world bike builder.
I know him.
So I got to spend time with Dave, his son Jesse, who was named after his best friend Jesse James, his daughter Jody, who now runs Perowitz.
Yeah.
But I get to spend some good quality time on the gas side of things before moving over to diesel. The only reason I went there, actually, my dad had his business since '83. He was going for back surgery, and he's like, hey, I need a driver. I really need you to come work for me. And I told the Shadley brothers, I'm like, parting ways, guys. But after I parted ways, they asked me, hey, we're going on a snowmobile trip. Do you want to go? I said, sure. So we drive up to Jackman, stay at the Jackman Inn, and one of my bosses, because it's Mark and Paul Shadley, Paul says to me, do yourself a favor, go across the street with all the sleds, put your credit card down, and buy everyone fuel before we get into Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He says, trust me. Oh, okay. So I bought fuel and put my credit card down, paid for everyone's fuel. There was 8 of us that went, so I bought everyone's fuel. And my boss, Mark, comes out. He's like, you lucky little shit. I went, what? He goes, Paul tell you to come in here? I said, yeah. He's like, now I got to buy in Canada. Me not knowing, I didn't know. So I was just like, okay, we got into Canada for a fuel stop, and I'm like, how much is gas? I'm like, how much is? Oh my God! And he's like, yeah, you little. I'm like, Mark, I didn't know. He's like, yeah, I know. It's okay. It's all right.
It's around $6 a gallon now.
Yeah, it was, and that was 04, 2004 when I had gone. But yeah, I spent some time on 55 through the backside through Canada, and went to a couple of strip joints, made the rounds, kind of made my way back. But I was, every time we stopped, I'd be pissed because I'm like, I just want to ride. I came up here to ride. And they're like, have you had a Labatt Blue yet? And I'm like, why do I want to drink a Labatt Blue? They're like, trust me, drink it in Canada, not in the United States. I'm like, that makes no sense to me. Then it's different. And it's so much better in Canada. And I couldn't believe it.
That's like when I go down in the stateside and I drink a Coors. It's good. Up here, Coors is crap. It's shit.
No kidding.
But down there, Coors is good. So, it is what it is.
All right.
So your dad at 72 is still working?
And then he's, how old is he now? His birthday was Friday. I'm a bad son. He's 75 now this year. But yeah, he's still driving tractor trailer. He's still running a dump trailer. They put him in areas that he knows, because he'll bring people in, train people. They'll ride in the cab with him, and he'll give them the old man jargon and tell them, "Oh, I went over here, and back when salt used to come off the pier in Boston, and we used to bring it out all the way out down to Route 2, and Route 2 used to be a single lane road, and everyone would be stuck behind my Mac going uphill, and so you'd have the old man rhetoric." And I was with him as a kid, driving all those roads, hauling salt and hauling logs to Maine, and so he's still killing it.
It's working because he wants to, loves it.
Yeah. He's got that man. I think he has to have over 7 million, 8 million miles under him. He retired his first R model, his 74 R model, and it had 4.5 million on it. 2 engines, 1 transmission. I retired mine 1.7 million with 1 engine, 2 transmissions. Yeah. We just wore them out doing heavy hauling, 105, well, what I consider heavy hauls, 105,000, 2 axle tandem trailer, tandem truck, but it's just, and he's still killing on a dump trailer.
Do you want to follow his footsteps or to that kind of age, or no? No,
No, I'm teaching. I'm teaching right now. I'm having a lot of fun teaching. So right. My position is coming up as a manager, because my manager is going to be retiring soon. Okay. Within the next couple of years. So my boss can't wait for me to step into that role. And
that's awesome.
I'm gonna kind of change it. She doesn't know I want to change it, but I'm gonna change it and be more of an active manager than just paperwork and stuff. Yeah. My manager now steps onto the floor. He helps out, but I want to do something. I want to try something a little different and see what we can't change. Change the industry, as they say.
What do you think the industry's got to do to get more young people interested in it?
I have these 2 young guys. I can't say guys and girls, both. I got to be careful of that. And talking about training seems to really, really spark their interest. Mm-hmm. So I've brought up the fact, like ASTA, I went first time last year. Yeah. And that's actually where I found your show. Yeah. And I binged your show. I don't want to fanboy out on you too much, but I've listened to every single podcast that you've put out, and I binged it. So I didn't, but I found you there. Yeah. And I'm like, I gotta listen to his podcast. And that's kind of where I found you. But I've told those 2, I'm like, if you're serious about this, like, we're going to build you your tools. We're going to build you your training. I'm like, it's not just about building a toolbox full of things you can tangible, you can touch. It's about the intangible things. It's the things in your head, understanding mechanically how they work, having that mentality, going for training and seeing exactly how the pros, we'll call them pros, the pros do it. Yeah. Sitting through like Sean Tipping's class. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. I sat through his class last year and blew my mind. Dennis Wohl over the Mercedes class that was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and then finding Scanner Danner. You know, I can't not sit through your podcast and not say his name because everyone says it, and I had to throw it in there because he finding his channel on YouTube was just what he does. I went out and bought a Pico because he was running stuff, and I'm like, I have to have one. I gotta have one. I don't know. It just like he's just so down to earth and just like, yeah, hey, let's try this. Hey, that didn't work. Guess what? No, we're just gonna keep on moving. We're gonna figure this out.
That's the beauty of it. The video that he just released yesterday, like he shows how the fact that it was like, you know, he tells Pete, just put a downstream oxygen sensor in it. Well, it was a broken wire right at the connector. Like it didn't need the oxygen sensor. Like he doesn't cover up the fact when he makes his mistakes. He shows them to us just like everybody else. And I think that's so important now because what really irks me sometimes is the people that are not in the industry that watch so much of the content creators in the automotive space, right? And they watch them just to like talk crap at them. That drives me up the wall because it's like, why? There's a lot of people that I don't like that do things as a career, right? Like I don't follow them. Like I don't want to be exposed to it. If you hate mechanics so much, what possesses you to go on and subscribe to their channels just to talk shit at them that they cost too much or or they're inept or incompetent? Like, don't give me that. Like I can't use up that energy.
Right.
So people, so he's so relatable because when he makes a goof like that, he completely puts it out there and shows people, go, look, I'm human too. And this is exactly why. And he's like, I'm 52 years old. He says, like, that's hard for me to see that wire right there broken because, I need to put my readers on. Like, we all need to be a little more human. And that's that he's been so effective at, right? Is because some of the guys are so polished and it's a good class and there's lots of information and stuff. But like his is the most realistic in the shop, candor, atmosphere, everything that I see every day. It is the most by far.
I agree with you because he really is amazing, and I think him, and I love watching Oscar Gomez.
Oh,
and I mean, just wizardry, and
the two of them are so, like, you can tell they're professional educators. Like they have seat time teaching other people. They're just phenomenal at getting the point across. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we see technical trainers and they're like, I've had them with Napa and CTI, and it's like, you're talking to a technician, right? Like they can teach the stuff to you, but they're not the most effective educator. And then you're around Oscar or Paul and you're like, they know exactly how to get the subject matter into your brain. I've been lucky to spend a lot of time with both of them, and I never take it for granted when I'm hanging out with Paul or Oscar because it's like people fanboy about me, and I'm like, listen, I am nobody. Don't fanboy over me. Like fanboy over those two. Like don't fanboy.
Those guys are really, I mean, I'm trying to get back to ASTA, but I have other commitments this year, and it's not going to work out, which I'm really, really bummed about. But I think. Or I was supposed to go to TMC in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I got a scheduling thing going on that, and I'm kind of taking more time. My kids are in their teen years now, and I'm getting to that point where my oldest now is going to start driving soon. She's going to be graduating high school. I got to spend some time. I still got to be dad.
Yes.
So.
Those destination events, I keep saying it every almost episode, it seems, but they're like so paramount. I've seen so many people like Check Engine Chuck. Check Engine Chuck's a smart dude, right?
He is, yes, for sure.
He goes to ASTA last year, first event he'd ever been like to in his life like that. And now he can't get enough of those kind of destination events. Like he wants to know when they're all happening. Can he make them go? And I'm just like, he's a smart enough guy that he could teach a class. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I want to go to these events and meet the people and learn this stuff. Like there's so many people like Chuck in the scope and the realm of stuff of the automotive space that are coming to ASTA this year. It's like it's going to be the year to go. It's going to be
Brandon Sloan.
Yeah, Brandon.
I was like to just quickly take a picture with each one of them, and I'm like, hey, I'm a fan. I love your content. It's helped me a few times. I mean, I don't do much in the gas world, Well, but the few tips you've given me, it helps because I'm still on a can line. A can line's a can line. I don't care who you are. It's still the same. It doesn't matter. If you need to do diag, it doesn't matter the size of the vehicle. It's still the can line.
Yeah.
So
What I love about it is that there's so many of us out there now that are giving light to what it is we've always done, what you and I have done since the 90s, right? Like I started in 97, like you started back then too. Like there's so much that we've always just done. And now there's so many people out there putting it out there, what we do day to day and glorifying it and showing in a professional manner and a much more realistic, like we don't all look like, we're covered in grease and cigarette hanging out of our mouth and, like we're grouchy and old and yelling at one another. Like we show ourselves as professionals. That's so important. And I mean, I think that's key because the young people now that want to come in, I was joking with my brother today, I was out in the boat and I'm like, it's so funny. Like we're talking about my grandparents' generation and it's like just the way they talked to each other was yelling. And he's like, yeah, it was so different. I'm like, why do you think that was? And I'm like, you got to remember, Greg, back then I said everybody was either a vet or a lot of the people that they worked for, the boss at the factory, he might have been a vet, right? He had been a sergeant. So the drill sergeant mentality way of communicating, man to man, drill sergeant, you yell, I tell you to do this, you do it now as fast as possible. That's the way it was. Now we're seeing people that are much more effective communicators putting it out there and in a way that is just like, so the young people coming in, they absorb it so much faster, I think, because it's like it's delivered in a much more effective manner is what I'm trying to say. And I just like, there's no ceiling to it. Like it's so fascinating to me. I see some of the women that are in the scope of the car repair online. They're so much better at, like, how do I say it? Not teaching it, but just making it look cool. And I don't mean from a sexy standpoint. I mean, they make it look really interesting to want to do this stuff. Like I
hope it continues. I honestly hope it continues because we need people. We need people in the industry. We need them. So it's
no trades period. But I mean, like our trade, especially like Mike Rowe, I saw a post today and I put it up on my Facebook and he's talking about how there's such a massive shortage for electricians and welders that the submarines, they don't even know if the U.S. naval is going to be able to build the next contracted submarines that have to be built because they can't find welders and electricians. And then he says, and the auto repair industry is even worse off. And I'm like,
yeah, amen. Yes.
Which is why we keep having these conversations about how do we make young people want to do this instead of being a welder or being an electrician, like, because if you want to do both, go be a mechanic because we do both. But I mean, I think the only way we get the kids to really want to do this is fix the industry so that it's not so toxic when they come into it, so that it doesn't seem so expensive to get into. That's the other thing. And then we have to make that really cool again. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Working on a garbage is not the most fun thing to work on. Right?
No. It's it definitely stinks.
Yeah.
And in more ways than one, it stinks. But if you think about it, you think about the industry and how it changed in the simplicity of what we were working on. Like I got into it in 93. Mm-hmm. So everything's just not, pre-OBD2.
Yeah.
It was a simple system, pretty easy. Injection was still coming along. Like when I went into high school in 1989, I'm going to date myself, 1989, they were still teaching carburation and they were teaching injection. So I got the set of points, the condenser charge to put on my seat and didn't see it, sat down on it and got, shocked.
Yep.
But that was the turning point because the following year, when the freshmen came in, they did away with the the carburation program. It wasn't taught. They said there's no need for it. It's like, oh, okay. So we were the last year that we got a little bit of it. I mean, a lot of your freshman year was all tools and basic stuff, but we saw, me and you, we saw that entrance to OBD2 and we saw the systems expand. So we got that hands-on as it was coming in, and as other techs were learning about them, kind of like a regen system. As it came in, we started learning about them little by little, and we're getting better and better, and more information's coming out on them, how they're changing. It's the same thing as when OBD2 hit, and then Mercedes-Benz pioneers the CAN line in the 90s with their car they called Unstealable because they were using the head instrument cluster as the bulkhead module. It's like I look back at it and we're like, that was so simple. Now it's like, oh, it's crazy. Now you got the LIN bus, CAN bus, everything. You got to make sure I still get asked, what's a stock switch? It's like, okay,
yeah.
My wife's Tahoe has 42 modules in it. It's like, okay, like we didn't have all that back then.
Yeah, it's gotten a little excessive. Really.
So we've come up through it, and that's where we need to bring people up to speed. We have to take them back, bring them forward, but at the same time, we need you to stay current of where we are now moving forward because the changes are coming so fast. You've got to be able to keep up. Like having a set of hand tools almost as a necessity anymore. Like, can you run Diag? Great. Don't even bring a toolbox in. Just sit here in front of this computer. Can you do programming? Because I got a bunch of modules I need you to do. And big truck world is behind the automotive world right now, but it's coming. Everything's changing. 2 years ago, I sat in a Texas heavy forum, and they said 48 volts coming. So be prepared. Everything's changing to 48 volt.
Yeah. All
right. Still kind of waiting for it to happen. 2032 emissions are coming. Like, understand the changes are coming. Freightliner introduces a couple years ago. More than a couple years ago. They have their Cascadia has lane detection and all the bells and whistles. And it's going to be more. There's going to be more electronics for us to figure out, to moving forward. It's not just, hey, we're changing brakes today. We're this guy's got more of a problem than just stopping his truck.
Yeah, and when you think about that, so when you think about how many trucks we've seen, that the fairings are a little banged up and smashed up, and like the headlight aiming, right? The big truck is kind of
flopping around going down the highway.
Imagine now when we start adding ADAS into that, because I can remember how many trucks I can remember seeing like the ABS light was on and it had been on for years. Driver wasn't fixing it. Trailer, same thing, right? You've seen the trailers where it's like two sets of where you plug in, and it's like you plug into that one, and if it's got a short in it, there's a redundant side, plug into that. Now you can drive on down the road. And I'm like, that's a neat idea, but wait a minute. That's a loophole now that they're going to be able to use. And it scares me to think about how many trucks are going to run down the road with an ADAS system that's not functioning, because there's already a ton of cars right now running down the road where the ADAS system's not functioning, right? So
and Bendix just changed over their whole system. Volvo has it out right now in the 2026 Volvos. It's all electronic. The brake pedal, the air-powered brake pedal, it's electronic with a redundancy of air. But there's less airlines, less moving parts. They put your compressor on the CAN line. They put your air dryer on the CAN line. They've put everything on your brakes on the CAN line. Now if it sees a grade, you're climbing uphill, it's not going to turn the compressor on until you level off. Like it's working in a smart manner. I'm like, all right, well, I hope it's not low enough and it's got to kick it in. What if he's got an air leak and it's like, and you're trying to climb a hill and you got an air leak and all of a sudden, oh, it's going to shut off on you because you're climbing a hill. Like, really? Okay, that's great, perfect.
Yeah.
But they're adding more and more to the system. And this year in September, Bendix is going to their own scanning system. So you just can't go and click on their little icon and get it for free and go zero out the steering angle sensor. You've got to buy in once a year. It's $500. And you got to get their system now to go and do that.
And that drives me nuts because it's like I've had a couple Nissans brand new, like 23s and 24s, that if I want to do the rear brakes, they lock the parking brake, the EPB behind the secure gateway. There's so much.
That's terrible.
Yeah, because now it's like I don't have my own auto auth. Like I don't have my own auto auth membership, right? Everyone else I ever worked for till I got to this place, had one. So my scan tool just immediately logged in with them. Bang, using my Zeus, no problem. Now it's like, oh, here's another Nissan. Now I got to jump power and ground to the to the caliper and back it up. Do I like doing it? No, it's a pucker moment for me every time. But I've done it like a few times now, had no issues. I tell them flat out, I am not attempting this on on anything that I feel like might go bad.
Euro.
Yeah.
No,
not happening, Oh, there's a Volvo over there. Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck. No.
We haven't launched, but it's the same thing. They're starting to, and I get the secure gateway thing. I really do, from a standpoint of security. But the parking brake has got zip to do with whether the car gets stolen or not. Like, that's just BS to me. They're just doing it to be jerks.
Right. And it's I understand that everyone with locksmiths are going through a lot right now. What's the code? You gotta have a license. Oh, they're trying to push a license or something like that. Jesus, why is his name escaping me? He's on the board.
Keith Perkins.
He's on the board over there, and I know he's kind of advocating for others. And I've actually taken a liking to key programming and everything. Not that it has nothing to do with big trucks. I mean, they're really not doing that yet. Hopefully they won't. But I still have this love for ignition for locks for I don't know why. I used to pick locks as a kid for fun, So I just have this thing for keys, I guess. But
I think in the heavy truck, we're going to see exactly what we see in the automotive hit there.
Yeah, it's just going to be years away.
Yeah,
we just got to but without our knowledge, it's hard to get the young guys on board. It's good to have that vast knowledge, not just from you came in at this date and from here on. I mean, you got to have some. You got to get some street cred. You got to, let's take it back. Let's take it back to the old days. Let me show you the brick. You know what the brick is? I drag that thing out. I have a brick, the Snap-on, and it's perfect. Like it has all the keys in it. Everything's in it. It's beautiful. Every once in a while, I'll drag it out and like, what's that? I'm like, that's a scan tool. That's a real scan tool. Use that thing. You want to get confused? Put that in there.
It's a real scan tool. Like you got to squint to read the numbers now.
Yeah.
And we've come so far. Like, that's what's so amazing, right? Is we've come so far in my generation, your generation, and yet when I see what's ahead, part of me is like, man, I'm so glad to be getting out soon. I say soon, like 10 years, 10 years, 15 years.
Right.
But then also the part of me is like, I'm going to miss it though, because I really enjoy seeing the challenge come along. Right. And that's the thing we got to sell to these young people is the challenge. Like, yes, you're going to make good money now. We're going to see to that the pay is finally coming up because it just has no choice. Like, they have to pay now. There's just not enough applicants out there. But you have to get off on solving a problem. Like, if you don't get, a real jolt from doing it, it's not the industry for you. I think that's what people are missing is like, we had so many people that were just really good with their hands, but they weren't necessarily like problem solvers, like your senior guy that you speak of, right? Where it's like, keep that computer away from me. I'm just want to do the heavy line, right? I don't think there's going to be a place for them always, but they're like, it's going to get very vast, the difference between the two people in the class, because it's like, they're going to be down here and they're going to make money, but they're not going to make the kind of money that these people up here are going to make. And I think that that's good, because I think it's been because the two levels have been so close for so long, there hasn't been a whole lot of motivation to go higher, except for that personal satisfaction. When we finally get the compensation up here, you want to be $180,000 a year as a technician. You go to problem solving. You want to make six figures. You stay here. That's the only way we're going to be able to incentivize them to do it. It's nothing to do with how many hours they produce. It's like, what can you actually solve? I'm excited to see where it goes. I really am.
Sure.
I see the changes happening right now. And some of it is begrudgingly, like the people are just resent the fact of what they have to pay sometimes to get people in. I can't believe that we're paying them $18, $19, $20 to start. Like that's what I was making, Yeah, I get it. Now they're paying them $24 to start somewhere on some of the shops around here, and it's like 5 years ago, that's what I was making as a licensed tech. As somebody with 15 years of experience, and I was making 24, and now we're starting them at 24.
I was $725 when I got out of high school.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And my tool bill was vastly higher than what I made per week.
Oh, it's. I saw somebody talking today. I don't know if you've seen her, Val Tools, on TikTok. Val Tools.
Yeah.
So she's going independent, right? Just 'cause her and
Snap-on, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, oh, that's going to be the death of her. And I'm like, are you crazy? My own Matco dealer right now is going that same route of going independent. And because the smart tool truck drivers realize that there isn't a whole lot of future driving a tool truck anymore. Like I know so many mechanics that never even walk on the tool truck. They order everything online, buy it all, ship to their house, Amazon, done. Right? They never walk on a tool truck, ever.
Yeah.
And so good on her that she's, gone that route, and she's figured out that, like, I'm just going to sell, because I mean, yeah, she's selling Snap-on, but like if you sell for Cornwell or Matco, you're selling 75% of it's rebranded anyway. You might,
yeah. I mean, what's wrong with a set of gear wrench? What's
nothing?
Oh my God, it's a great set. You can and honestly, you can still get. I just bought a quarter drive shallow set of sockets. They were $23. Like, okay, and they're still great socket. You're not snapping a quarter drive socket off in an impact guns. And I actually told this to Grace the other day, because she's like, I saw this Capri Tools. It's like a no brand. I'm like, get them. She's like, really? I'm like, listen, no one's going to fault you for getting these tools. I'm like, but she's like, well, you have a Snap-on box and you have a Mac box. I'm like, that Snap-on box was bought in the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a long ass time ago. Yep. Okay, and I shouldn't have bought it, but I bought it because I was in a shop that had all Snap-on in it, and they told me if I wanted to fit in, I needed a Snap-on box, and so I went on the tool truck, and I'm like, how much is a new toolbox? And the guy who sold it to me goes, $20 a week, and I went, what? $20 a week? $20? Are you sure? Yep. And then right behind it was my lead tech is behind me. Then and he says, for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
I was just like, but it came with a free jacket. It was so cool. I had the flames on it, Snap-on. And yeah. So, yeah. But then
I'm glad to see that going away sometimes, that brand stigma, of you, like, oh, you got to have that to fit in. That's
gone.
You don't have to. And you just have to have the tools that you need to do the job to fit in. And I don't care if you buy them at Harbor Freight. I don't care if you buy them up here at Princess Auto. I don't care if you buy them at Canadian Tire, Sears, Cobalt, like Lowe's. I don't care. I just care that you're not in there breaking stuff, making more work for yourself or somebody else because you don't have the correct tool. That's when you come and borrow the correct tool. And this attitude even of busting these kids, in the head every time. It's like, oh, that's 3 times. You got to buy it now. Like, I don't get heavy like that anymore, because it's like, I know how expensive this stuff is. We were talking, it's like $2,000 to buy 2 sets of Snap-on wrenches, a standard set and a metric set. I was talking with, a friend of mine, his young person wants to buy that. And I'm like, I never spent that much money on a vehicle until like, I drove.
It's crazy. And I haven't replaced any of my wrenches since the 90s. It sounds horrible. I still have my first set of SK wrenches, long pattern, standard and American. But I forget the guy's name. He was a real old guy. He had no neck muscles, and he had to walk around like this, and he held his head up like this, and he had a little scratch pad of paper, and he'd drop his head. He would, what do you need? I'm going to write it down. You want him in metric? Okay, I'll have him next week. But he was the greatest. He's like, oh, you're new? I'm going to give you a discount on your first set of your tools. And I was shocked. And he was just like, I'm really glad you're here. And that was 93 when I bought those wrenches. And I'll never forget him, but he put me on the right on the right path for tools and stuff. And
the whole wrench thing for me is so laughable now, because it's like the test that they show one is superior to the other is using the open end of the wrench. Like when you go in tomorrow, are you going to grab anything with the open end of the wrench? Probably no. What do we do with open? Well, we hook up lines with an open end, right? The rest of the time we're using the box end. Like it's just a stupid comparison to me to say. Like, I know I'm never putting my knuckles in trusting any brand of wrench, no matter who, because I'm not, it's not the distrust of the wrench. It's the distrust of the damn fastener. That's what I know is going to fail. Like, it's got nothing to do with the wrench. It just pisses me off that the Snap-on corporate thinks it's totally okay that $2,500 buys somebody 2 sets of wrenches to start out in this industry. Like, that's horseshit. Yeah. It's horseshit. It's absolute lost complete. Not accountability, but they cannot relate at this point to the people that they're selling their tools. I 100% the corporate level at Snap-on. If you're listening, you guys have lost touch. And
absolutely, I don't buy anything Snap-on anymore. I'm done with them. I'm done. I just don't even care.
My scan tool is pretty much the only thing that I make payments on now is my Zeus and the subscription, because the rest of the time, like, I walk out and I don't need it. I don't need it. I have a full tool set, and B, like, it's $200 Canadian for a 3/8 ratchet.
I'm all set. Nope.
No. I'm going to drive across the border and go to the closest Harbor Freight, and I'm going to buy the Icon, and I'm going to be happy with it.
You sure will. Sure will. Yeah. I still make my way to Home Depot to go get myself I've broken a few 30 millimeter wrenches. And when I do, I cut it in half, and whatever end I break, because usually a lot of the heavy duty bolts on like rear ends and springs and stuff are 30 millimeter. So I've broken a few with an impact gun on the other side. I'll cut it in half, and now I got a short pattern.
Yeah.
I'll throw it in Toolbox. I've done it with a few wrenches. My 22, my 24, cut in half.
Yeah.
They come in handy all the time.
I've always kept a set of cheap wrenches in my toolbox that have heated up to get an oxygen sensor out, like put a bend in it to get around the pipe instead of like all that kind of stuff. We've all done that. Like I've had to grind the flats off to get in between lines to tighten up the hose or whatever. Like we all do that.
Can I tell you my favorite thing to do? The little stupid screwdrivers you get for Christmas off the tool trucks. If you don't have a few of those bent in different positions, I mean, they're genius. And it's like, oh, you want one of them? Like, what are you gonna do with that? And I'm like, you have no idea. I'm like, I have these bent in all different angles to get around things, in loops, in hooks. To get clips off in certain areas. You just can't. They come in handy. They come in real handy. They turn them into a pick.
Yeah. You know how many times we've all rolled underneath a truck with a pair of slip joints and 2 crescent wrenches and walked back out, a couple minutes later with the valve in hand or the part in hand or the
part in hand.
And and did it, like, because why? You didn't take a hammer because you got a crescent wrench. You didn't take a socket because you got a slip joint and a crescent wrench. Like you just
did that with a QR valve. Just did one. Just did one Friday with it. Brought minimal tools. I think I brought 3 things with me. Took it out.
Yeah. And we have to go to teaching these kids how to do that, right? Like improvise, adapt, overcome, right? The military adage, but it's the same thing. We have to do that every day. You learn how to use what you have. I think that too many times now we've said, oh yeah, if you don't have this, you can't do the job. No, come on.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true.
Not at all.
There's always a will is a way.
What's your closing thoughts? What do you think? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Man.
Well, we didn't even dabble into the hot rod world I was in for a while.
Oh.
Too, but I'd really like to teach when I can at work. If I can't get to a certain level of teaching, I might end up trying to retire to a school.
Okay.
I really want to take my love for hot rods a little further, and I got to build in my garage right now. I got a rat rod I'm building from scratch. I got a Brockway cab.
Okay.
And I got a homemade frame with a 4-link rear air ride suspension with a front is a 1940 Ford cross spring on hairpins. So it's cool, but I'm going to redo the whole thing again and do it over. Because I know we didn't talk about it, but I spent, my teenage years with my best friend who owns a hot rod shop up in New England. And I worked for him after my dad's business went down on my off time from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was his fabricator. And that's all I did was he just kept feeding me Camaros, like 67, 68, 69, 70s. I feel like that's all I did is just cut Camaros apart because, Massachusetts, we live we're rusty. Yeah. Everything's full of rotten rust. So I was doing floors, trunks, drop-offs, rocker panels, cab corners on the square bodies, even in the 90s trucks, just whatever, but I have that love and passion for hot rods. And I really want to start putting some stuff together.
I do too. I mean, I grew up and it was like, well, I remember I had pictures of the California Kid, the roadster that Pete Shapiris built for that, well, he didn't build it for the movie, but, resurrected it for the movie way back then. And the Eliminator car that Boyd did for ZZ Top and, like all the Boyd stuff I used to have posters of, like when I was a kid. Like I was a hot rod kind of guy. And then when the rat rod stuff came out, I was like, that's really cool. And then I got into Willys and the Salt Lake stuff. And like, it was just like, belly tankers and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I really got my love for this industry was through that. I that's what I wanted to do. And, it just took me in a different direction. Like I was all about fast, Chevelles and Corvettes and, Novas. I was a Chevy guy back then. Until I worked with the first mentor that I had that was a Mopar nut, I thought Mopars were like ugly and stupid. And like my dad.
I know where you're coming from. I understand completely because I thought the same thing. I was a Chevy guy. I still am, but
we came home from the hospital, my brother and I, in a Dart Swinger with like a slant six and it was a puke or shit brown color that had a metal flake in it because my dad was a bodyman. He'd done that, and I can remember like a cream upholstery in it and like a slant six, and I don't know. They sold that car. It had high miles, never blew it up, right? Like he couldn't blow a slant six up. And my dad
I can still hear that starter. I can still hear it.
Oh,
if it missed and you hear that ball bearing starter just go and go and go and go. And you couldn't restart it until it was done. You had to wait. Because if you did, it would miss. And you would hear it hit the flex plate go.
Yeah. They drove it to all over the country, like on their trips and stuff before we came along. And he's like, you'd take that car anywhere as long as you kept a ballast resistor in a glove box.
Was it behind the headlight in that one? It was on the firewall.
I think it was on the firewall. Yeah.
On the firewall.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and I mean, I was so young, the car was gone by the time I think I started school. So probably like by the time I was 5, the car was sold. And I can't remember what he got after that. We had always had a square body Chevy in the driveway right up until like I was in high school. He was still driving Chevy trucks, 88s, 92s. Like, but at one point I can remember like 2 of my cousins, 3 of my uncles, my grandfather on both sides, my mom's father and my dad's father, all had square body Chevys. It was just like, so
that's a truck to have.
Yeah. It's like when somebody said, oh, dad had a Dodge. I'm like, your dad had a Dodge.
That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Why did he get rid of it? I hope so. I can't crap on Dodge though. I really can't. Because it's like you get the big 3 against electric right now, so we're all family, all the big 3s. So
and I love Mopar for what they were. Like obviously the posters on me all the time, but I mean because they're the last holdout for like unapologetic horsepower.
Yeah, I agree.
Last one,
Mm-hmm.
And now if the Hemi is coming back, like they're talking about it, and like because the V6 trucks don't sell for shit. Nobody wants one. Like they're
unsellable after 150,000.
Yeah, I know. So
garbage.
I hope that we turn the corner and we kind of get back to some sensibility because
I can only hope. So it just seems like I watch GM take a turn and I'm like they're letting their 5-year-old grandson design their vehicles for them. I'm like that is just ugly. I'm like, can you guys just do a throwback, please? Just do what Dodge did and just get smart. Do a throwback. Do a new with the old. Pull that 71, 72 nose off from the Blazer and incorporate it into something new and give us the truck everyone wants. Yeah. Just love of God.
People make fun of Jeep, but really, like, it doesn't matter. When you look at a Jeep, you still know it's a Jeep, right? Like, I'm talking a Wrangler. Like, you look at it and you can still see the heritage and the lineage going back, 70 years.
Right.
When you look at a Mach-E Mustang, you don't look at that and see, oh, that's a Mustang. Like that's a Ford Escape. Like, I'm sorry, that's what it is. Like, it's just, they've lost touch. And Dodge, I didn't like the Charger. I like the 300. The Charger, I said, that's a joke. It's got 4 doors. There's too many doors. When they finally hit with the Challenger, I was like, yes. Now
there you go. Yeah.
That electric thing that they have, like, it looks okay. Just, fake exhaust noises.
The sound. Yeah, I was about to say the sound really. Come on, cut it out. You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I'm gonna let you go, brother.
All right, brother.
Well, it's nice talking to you. So
it was great talking to you, Jeff. Finally getting on with you, and I feel like I had 1,000 things to say, but I'm glad we had this conversation. We
can come back and do it again for sure. Definitely.
Love to. Yeah. Love to.
What do you got waiting for you tomorrow? Do you know?
I have one that's been kicking my butt. So I have a PX7, which is basically ISB waiting for me. I gotta get through it, and I'm gonna kick its ass. Well, it's been kicking mine. So
I'm gonna go in and tear this Volkswagen apart and get to the problem of why it's misfiring, and so that'll be my morning. So all right, brother, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody.
All right, Jeff. Thank you.